Now that I've covered what Starfield is, it's pretty much a glorified looter shooter with RPG elements. Not done very well at all. What should it have been? What should Starfield have been? Well, because of the stable that it comes out of, it should have been the next Skyrim, Skyrim in space. It was kind of touted as that. All the way through it was. They couldn't stop telling us that they were the people that made Skyrim and Fallout. So, yeah, it's like, oh, this is the first new world we've made in 25 years. It's like, okay, so they're making a whole new thing now. It's going to be space. Well, I'm well on board for that. I love me space games. You know, immersion is important in a role-playing game. It's very important in a role-playing game. More so than any other genre of game. You've got to be immersed. How do you get immersed? Well, you have to believe you are in that game. You are that person. You are role-playing that person. So your environment has to be believable. You have to kind of be able to get into it. And Starfield did a great job of stopping that happening. And the reason for that is, I believe, because the engine they've used, it's not meant for this kind of stuff. You can't do... They've tried to kind of put a round peg in a square hole with this engine, and they've ended up with a mess. So what should Starfield have been? Well, as you go to a spaceship, you should just walk into it and then take off yourself. How hard is it? How hard is it to sit down in a spaceship now in 2023, fire your thrusters, and just go up with vertical, then as you get off the ground, just start tilting back, retracting your landing gear, and then thrusting out at a nice 45-degree angle maybe, or whatever you want, through the atmosphere and then into space. Then when you get into space, set your nav computer, jump to where you're going. That should require a hyperspace screen, which will be a loading screen. Get to the system you want. Fly around, look at a planet, say, all right, I'm going to go down to that planet. So you're kind of jumping down towards that planet's surface, going really fast. And then you break through the atmosphere, set your scanners on, scan around the planet's surface. Any signals you pick up, just fly around, go a bit closer, get a bit lower, have a bit of a look out your window and say, oh, that looks decent. What is that down there? That looks like a cave. That looks like a building. I'm going to just sit down here and I'm going to have a look. And then you just land. And then as you land, you just actually get out of your chair, walk to the back of your spaceship, open the door and walk through the fucking door. No loading, just walk through the door and you're on that planet's surface and you're wandering around and you've just achieved something amazing. You have literally done proper space flight in a role-playing game. It feels good because I've done it in No Man's Sky. It's a truly epic, magical feeling when you do that. You feel like you literally piloted that ship. Same in Elite, when you dock at that station, you've just travelled across the universe seamlessly, apart from the hyperspace jump. And you get there and you dock in there, you land in that landing bay, and you're there. It's like, wow, that was awesome. In this, you literally get to your spaceship, walk to the door, loading screen. Get in your spaceship, walk to your seat, cutscene. Press the space bar to take off, cutscene. Get into space, plot your course, loading screen. Get to the planet you want to be, click to land, cutscene. Land in your spaceship, want to be out your chair, cutscene. Walk to the back of your spaceship, want to get out, loading screen. Who's going to do that? I'll tell you who, no f***er, because you could press one button and just instantly teleport there. But what does that do? That cuts out the whole space travel. You're never going to get attacked. I've played this game now for over 20 hours. I've had 3 space battles. 3 in 20 fucking hours. And you know why? Because I'm not going through all of that cutscene bullshit. I'm just pressing one button to teleport to where I want to be. And it just totally cuts out space travel. So I'm never going to get attacked by pirates. Obviously, some missions will have me attacked by pirates, so that will happen then. But generally speaking, I'm not in a space game. I'm playing fucking Beam Me Up Scotty. That's what I'm doing. I'm a Beam Me Up Scotty looter shooter. That's what I'm doing in Starfield. And that's a fucking disgrace, considering this was sold on the back of Skyrim, Fallout, from Bethesda. We were expecting an immersive RPG because we know that there's engines out there and we know that there's games out there that can do this. And we thought that Bethesda, being one of the biggest studios in the world, would do it and pull it off. And they haven't. It's smoke and mirrors. The whole thing's smoke and mirrors. The RPG side of things, you have all these companions who constantly talk over each other when they're in the same room.
The money you sent home?
Well, magical.
It means a lot.
Storybook.
To both of us.
I must admit.
If you want to go and talk to somebody, it might be a mission quest to talk to one of them. They might be having a conversation with one of the others. So you stand there. I literally waited 2 or 3 minutes while one guy talked to his ex about how their relationship broke up. Imagine that. I walk into a room and I can't talk to them because they're just having this intimate conversation about where they all went wrong. And I'm standing there like a big fucking gooseberry. I mean, what? There's too many planets, there's too many companions, there's just way too much crammed into a bad-engined game, and what you end up is nothing works properly. It's all just a mess, and that's what Starfield is, an absolute mess. They should have deleted thousands of these planets. Myself, personally, I would have much preferred a more streamlined game with maybe 20 planets. 20 planets crafted with care, with lots of points of interest on them, with lots of things happening, with planets that look actually alive and not some bad 1970s Star Trek fucking place. You know, I was expecting to see the fucking Gorn, a man in a suit, throwing fucking polystyrene rocks at us on some of these places. They just don't look real. They're like studio sets. Remember in Morrowind, remember in Oblivion, remember in Skyrim, you go into these caves and you're in there for hours. Some of them, it's just like, what is all this? I've just discovered this. I just came across all this. I wasn't told to come here. I just went in and I just discovered this. It oozed the atmosphere, seamless. Remember Kingdom Come Deliverance, just doing the quests in there. Some of them were just what some people would call boring. I thought they were great. Being on guard duty in that fort, being shown the ropes off a guard. It was a 20-minute walk around the fort. He was saying, this is where you got to watch here, this tower here. It's all at night under torchlight. It was just highly immersive. You were that character. You got into that character. I didn't get any of that in Starfield because you can't, because it doesn't have that. Starfield is just a looter shooter with RPG elements. That's all it is. Sure, you can customize your ship. You can do all of that. You can upgrade everything. Yourself, your perk system, your weapons, your ship. Everything can be upgraded. But why? Why would you? Do you know what? After 3 hours of playing it, I knew the game sucked. Because it wasn't what I was after. I wanted an RPG. I didn't want a fucking first-person looter shooter. I came here for an RPG and I got a first-person looter shooter with teleporting space elements and absolute sketchy as fuck role-playing game elements. Now, yes, you can have fun in this game. I've had fun in the lots of the places that I've been, the science labs, shooting people, grabbing loot, selling the loot, upgrading me stuff. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun getting new suits, helmets, weapons, jump packs. It's fun putting in perks to make them more effective. It's fun getting your little superpowers. Yes, all that's fun. But when you want to play it as a role-playing game, it's not fun. Because it's massively, massively disjointed. And Starfield should have been way better than this. It should have had great planets to explore. It should allow you to just fly around them planets in the atmosphere, scanning. It should make you feel like you are at one with your ship. It should have revolved around the ship. And what about landing on the planets and having some kind of like hover bike or something to just go around and scout out the planets? How easy would that be to do? World of Warcraft, 20 years ago, guys, I'll show you this. I'll speed this up so you can actually see it. They have a horse and you can travel seamlessly through loads of different biomes that were crafted properly with care. There's no loading screens, no cutscenes. It just fucking works. You can just ride from one area to another just seamlessly. You'll see the biome gradually changing as the new one comes. That was 20 years ago. Bethesda can't even let you go through the fucking door of a room without a fucking cutscene. Well, most of the time they can't. I mean, they can, obviously. There's a few doors you can do that. But do you know what? I genuinely can't remember walking to a new building, opening a door and not getting a cutscene. And it just breaks the immersion. It breaks everything that you want in a game. And this is why you need an SSD for it. This is why, because if you aren't using an SSD, my goodness, you'll be staring at a blank screen more than you'll probably be staring at the game. It's so sad that this has been widely accepted as okay by the reviewers and certainly by the paying customers who are paying £85 for an RPG that's in this absolute sorry-ass state. I didn't want a looter shooter, but that's what I got. In Starfield, it could have been way, way more. Less companions, less planets, more detail, more immersion, better engine, no cutscenes, no loading screens. You do it yourself. You are the pilot. That's your ship. Fly the fucking thing. My goodness. I can't believe I'm even having to say this. What a state. What an absolute state we're in with games. If this is the best from one of the biggest developers out there. Me, the future looks bleak, guys.
I'm going to end you.